Milling Through History presents The Phantom Time Theory. Imagine living in a world where time was made up. In many ways, we already do. We agree on time through the number of seconds in a minute, minutes in an hour, hours in a day, days in a week, and so on. However, what if there are consolidated effort on the part of a few people to specifically manipulate time to fit their own desires? In 1991, Herbert Illig published an article in Germany putting forward the phantom time theory. He argued that an additional 300 years were added to the calendar during the lives of Otto III, Pope Sylvester II, and Constantine VII. Their aim was to ensure their time in power coincided with the year 1000 AD. If this theory were true, then the reign of Charlemagne and the Carolingian period of medieval Europe never occurred. According to Illig's theory, there are 5 major points to it. First, there is a lack of archaeological evidence for events between the years 614 and 911. Second, scientific dating methods such as dendrochronology and radiometry were inaccurate. Third, historians were relying too much on the written records. Fourth, the use of Romanesque architecture in the 10th century meant the Roman Empire was closer to the conspirators' time. Finally, the differences between the Julian calendar and the Gregorian calendar were 13 days, not 10, which then accounts for the additional years. Historians immediately went to work disproving the theory and went through each of the arguments to show how it did not work. First, there were numerous astrological events which occurred during this period which created pinpoint events in history that lined up with the calendar. In addition, many locations outside of Europe tracked these same events, creating corroboration for these events. Second, archaeological remains, radiometry, and dendrochronology continue to prove the years, and increasingly technology helps to better examine artifacts and narrows down the years to a more precise date. Third, the 10-day difference between the Julian calendar and the Gregorian calendar is based on when the process to match them begins. The starting year was with the Council of Nicaea in 325. By 1582, the calendars were only 10 days apart and European countries were beginning to switch over to the Gregorian calendar as well. Illig used his start date as 45 BC. By pushing the date back, he gained an additional 3 days. Finally, this theory requires too many additional moving parts to work together to make it happen. First, more than Western Europe would have been needed to take part in this. Second, the entire history of China would need to be rewritten along with the rise of Islam, and an even closer scrutiny on the life of Muhammad would be needed. No sooner was the theory dismissed that Illig began to publish more articles. With each successive article and theory he came out with, the less they received peer, critical reviews, as he was seen less and less as a serious historian. Be sure to click on the left-hand button to subscribe to our show and on the right-hand side for our latest episode. We will see you again for the next episode of Milling Through History.